A burning building is a chaotic environment. Firefighters can quickly become disoriented in the smoke and flames. The Portland Fire Department recently conducted a training exercise to help firefighters navigate these dangerous conditions and, if necessary, locate and rescue one of their own. Bill Blood was there and has this report.
We're here at the International Marine Terminal with the Portland Fire Department. Could you tell us a little bit of what's going on today?
Yeah, we're doing some fairly aggressive firefighter safety and survival and down firefighter removal training. We have a couple different scenarios set up.
Tell me a little bit about the maze.
The maze is, again, it's 5 very realistic fireground challenges, something you could see on any fireground. The first one is an entanglement hazard where it simulates a hung ceiling possibly coming down on you with wires and different sorts of things that would entangle you up. And it's just a matter of negotiating that maze. Our air pack adds helmets, gloves, bottles, all our personal protective equipment, makes us larger and more bulky. So to negotiate that maze is oftentimes a challenge. The second portion of it is a reduced profile maneuver. And what that is if we are in an area that's untenable, that we can remain in no longer, and our only option is to breach a wall into the next room, we'll punch a hole through the wall, go through the studs to get in the next room to get ourselves an area of safe haven. The third part of it is a blocked exit, and that happens, on a fairly regular basis as buildings deteriorate under fire conditions. We have partial collapses, so you could be caught in some sort of partial collapse that blocks your exit out. Therefore, meeting our Mayday parameters, and that's what we want our folks to call a Mayday. The other one is a reduced. It's certainly you wouldn't crawl through a 24-inch tube in a fire building, but again, it's just to simulate some sort of tight space where you have to continue to make forward progress, and you have to negotiate that. And the final part of it is our collapse scenario set up over here. The firefighters go up a couple stairs, they get onto a platform lets go underneath them, simulating a floor collapse. And again, certainly a Mayday parameter. Providing you remain conscious, you call the Mayday, recognize your emergency, tell them what your situation is, and ask for the appropriate resources.
Now you have a third scenario that's set up downstairs. What is that all about?
That's called the Denver drill, and that came about years ago, and I don't remember the timetable. 10 years ago, Denver Fire Department lost a firefighter. Unfortunately, died in the line of duty. They were able to locate him, but they were unable to remove him. It was a reduced space, tight space scenario with a high window, and they just couldn't, in time enough to save his life, get him out of the building. So the Denver Fire Department did something about it. They said, this isn't going to happen again. Let's train aggressively. Let's recreate the scenario. We're going to put, in a training scenario, in a very canned situation, we're going to put firefighters in. We're going to figure out how to get them out. And they came up with a unique maneuver to get a down firefighter out specific to that situation.
Captain Keith Gautreau tells us more about the Denver drill.
What they're attempting to do right now is make a rescue of a down firefighter simulated on the first floor inside a tight space with a window that is quite a bit off the floor level. Okay, so they have a company going in of 3 trying to lift this down firefighter up to approximately 44 inches, 50 inches off the floor and get him out to another company. They're using different techniques such as ladders or different techniques inside where another firefighter gets underneath and uses their leg strength to lift the down firefighter up and then pass him out to another company. And in this scenario here, what they're doing is they're using the attic ladder to take the down firefighter out almost like as a stretcher. Just one creative way to get them out of the building.
You do quite a bit of training year-round. How do you find facilities like this?
We pretty aggressively work with the planning department and inspections division, and where we try to stay aware of when buildings are being extensively rehabbed or torn down, and then we approach the business owners, the property owners, about getting use of their property, and the business owners and the property owners in the city of Portland have been really great over the past couple of years.
It's getting pretty smoky in here, so I can't imagine what it's like in the other room. Can you tell us a little bit about that?
Yeah, that room right now, they have a firefighter down scenario. They placed a firefighter on the second floor, simulating a lost or disoriented firefighter on the second floor doing a search. And again, this is theatrical candy smoke, and we try to recreate fireground conditions as best we can, but you can't duplicate it by any stretch of the imagination. There's so many other things going on a fire ground.
I looked at the mask that they were using for the maze. That's kind of like what they're actually looking at when they're going through the fire.
That's it. And we put the insert in their mask to simulate lights out conditions, which is truly what they are. It's lights out conditions. You have to use your other senses to negotiate through the building.
If someone had a building they could donate to you for future training as a future training facility, how could they contact, or who would they contact?
They could contact the fire chief. They could certainly contact me. I'm at Central Fire Headquarters, 380 Congress Street. My phone number is 874-8404, and we would happily, gladly, and graciously use any building, any facility, any property that was offered to us.